Before we get into today's episode, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the Open Doors, Open Mind YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify and on our other social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook and now TikTok. Links to all will be in the description below. But without further ado, let's watch the episode.
Episode 42?
42, bang on.
42.
42, and
We're nearly at 50.
We're nearly there. We're nearly halfway to the point where somebody
Obviously,
actually
we're nearly
cares.
at 50. That's crazy. But yeah, halfway to people caring.
Halfway of people caring
Well,
of what we actually have to say.
we're still a way away from that anyway. I'm like on parkruns wise, I'm on 55. To get to 100 is still quite difficult.
We're doing all right with subscribers as well.
Yeah, and we said, well, if you want to subscribe and you are watching this, put a like and subscribe. We should say that. I know Kai says at the beginning, but why don't we say that?
Subscribe, help,
Wow.
please, somebody. We're at 198. Let's get to the 200. We can have a party.
Do you know, I won't watch anyone's video if they have less than 100,000 followers.
100,000? Jesus.
But
Why?
I watch a lot of football stuff because I don't trust it.
So you're saying we're untrustworthy at the moment? then?
Yeah, 100%. But we gotta pay it forward. Do you know what I mean? This stuff takes time.
Takes time. So we're halfway for somebody actually caring.
Yeah, maybe someone caring.
We're two
yeah.
off 200.
Yeah.
So nobody really cares.
No one cares. It's fine.
We're not even
but I
paying
like
for
that. Why should they care? They shouldn't care.
Because this is the
Only
number
one person.
one UK mental health channel talking about mental health.
In Theo.
In theory, yeah, okay, well. Wow, you're doing me great this morning.
How are you? What's going on? Do you know what? Something happened that has never happened before.
Go on.
We went for a drink.
Yes, we did.
That was not just now, but we're just on Friday.
Not before the show, we didn't.
It's fine, no.
Yeah, but it was good. Phil Social Club.
Yeah.
It was quite good.
I didn't know where it was.
And it's right by you as well.
Right, literally by my house. And then I walked in there. I was just like, don't walk in here if you have mud on your shoes. I was like, I just walked across the field. Of course I got mud on my shoes. Felt bad. It's all good.
Because they were going, oh, how do you know him? And
That
I
means
was
they
like,
don't listen.
And that was that. Oh, that's a bit. I said, he's my co-host on the Open Doors. What's Open Doors?
See, I did a radio show. Wait. I did a radio show for 2 years, and I would say the word fat chicken, and people are like, what's that? I'm like, what? I've been
Because
on
you
a
didn't
radio
listen.
for this long. Have you not cared?
But I found something on Instagram today. I
What?
wanted to play it. No. It's relevant to what we're doing.
Is it relevant?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
We're just going to hear the music through your phone, and we can actually put it on the screen that we can listen to later or something. What's going
Well,
on?
obviously, you're going to get Kai to overlay it.
Oh,
Obviously,
okay,
and
cool.
actually
Thanks,
play
Kai.
it.
Thanks.
So,
You're
obviously,
making
Kai,
me some
this
work.
is the bit where you come in and do your magic editing.
Like now. Oh, I love when you just get things up on your phone. You know when like grandparents are like, oh, look at this, it's a sneezing panda and Charlie bit someone's finger. You're like, brilliant. Oh,
Hang on.
here we go. See, I didn't even get it right.
I've messed it up already.
Come
haven't
on.
I? Hang on, I've got to wait for him to start again.
Oh, sorry. Is this on YouTube?
No, it's on Insta.
Okay.
But it's on a mental health thing I follow.
Okay.
Let me tell you this. If you've made it through addiction or mental illness, you have something. Because a lot of people don't. If you are still kicking today, battling those demons, you have something. Because a lot of people didn't wake up today because they couldn't make it. They couldn't cut it, and you fucking did.
No, you're
That's a
demonetized already.
strong. No, you're allowed to you're allowed to swear on it now.
I know,
Don't
I told
tell
you.
them. You know, you told me.
Yeah. Is that true?
I hope so, because we pretty much, or I have, sworn in every one.
Yeah, that's true. No, I mean just a message that he said.
No, the message.
Is it just how he's saying it with the music in the background that makes it seem like if you get
It hit a note with me, considering obviously I tried to do something very stupid as in.
You didn't want to wake up once.
Yeah, I
And
didn't.
a few times.
I didn't want to be here anymore. I didn't want to fight anymore. It was constantly because you can't get away from what's inside your head, right? And it was literally constant, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I couldn't get away from it. And it wasn't a case of I didn't want to be dead forever. You know, like you play a game, I just wanted to press pause or end it and then reactivate myself when.
Yeah, I do that on FIFA a lot of times when I'm like losing just right at the end and they score against me. I'm like, restart match. You know, we've all done that. There's people in the studio right now. They're like, yeah, I know you haven't done it, but you won't understand. But yeah, in the confused game way, you're like, oh, I can't beat that boss. Restart that bit. Let's do it again.
Yeah, just I don't know. I don't know. It related to me.
Yeah.
It kind of. I think that's the whole point, wasn't it? It relates in different ways to different people.
Do you reckon that we're really, really, really simple, right? And everything that happens in our life, which there's like kind of a Bible verse, I think, which is you're only given what you can take. You know what I mean? So if you're given it, then higher beings know you can take it. So in a sense, in this, like with you, even though you got close, you didn't do it. Or you did do it and it didn't get through and stuff like that.
Do you feel like it's a test? Is that what you're trying to?
No, I think we like collecting dots. I think none of this matters. It's so funny, right? Because I feel that we're on this earth and we care about our lives more than we care about anything else, and anything else we do or anything else that happens. But does an ant feel the same, right?
No.
Does your dog feel the same? You know what I mean? Does a tree feel the same? And when things are not here, I've lost so many people, not for suicide, just for all different guises, right? And it's the saddest thing. But in the end, everything just carries on. You can lose your closest friend. You can lose your mum, your dad, your grandparent, whatever, right? And in the end, no matter what, things just carry on.
But the world's never stopping, is it?
Never stops.
No.
And it's not that people don't care. I think just over time, we put so much emphasis on caring about us being here now that I feel we're so self-important in this point. And I think that is one of the problems that we have problems on our head, because I think that we think we're important and I think that we're actually not. So why not just enjoy it while we're here? If we're not important and we don't have to have it great all the time, good every time, it just is.
But why do you feel? Well, the question I always ask myself is, why do we have mental health? Why do we have feelings? Why?
Because we project it ourselves. It's a projection of ourselves. Because you want great and good all the time, and none of that exists.
But every person on this planet will tell a story about themselves and change.
Yeah, because
the
they think they're
narrative of it.
important. And we're not. And I think as soon as we can kind of disconnect from that, then I think we can just be. You know, you're never going to fix it. We could say it's curable or it's manageable or all this sort of stuff, but you're never going to fix it. There's always going to be something. I keep my shit together like 95% of the time. Guess what I get judged on?
Go on.
The 5%.
Yeah. Nobody remembers all the good you did. They only remember that one bad.
It's in the comic book. I say it many times. Like, you either die early enough and you still are the hero, or you live long enough and you become the become the enemy, become the villain. You know what I mean? Like, if you live too long, then in the end you will mess up bigger than ever. Or your opinions or your versions of life, you're like, well, it wasn't like that back in the day. We say that and we hear that so many times. Things have changed, blah, blah. Well, to be honest, that's why we have to die, so things do change. You know, everything talks about language. Everyone talks about schools. Everyone talks about kids. But you have no idea what your kids are going through at their age that they are now. You just know it from when you were their age. But that's 20, 30 years ago. And you're like, but when I was younger, we had this, we did this, we did this. But they didn't have it, and they'd be like,
so
well,
how do you parent a kid then, in that sense? Because what you experienced and what I experienced at school or in life is completely different now. So
I think all you can do with kids and all you can do with younger people is just pick up the pieces when it goes wrong. You can give them morals and understanding, but also as children and teenagers and stuff like that, the things you will let go of and the things you are hard on, the opposite they will do. So if you're really chilled about them having a beer, but you really hate them and thought of them smoking would be the worst. And then they smoke because they're like, do you know what? Fuck you, Dad. I know how to piss you off. My friend did this wonderful little thing. His kid lied. So he said, well, for that, I don't care what it was about, but for that...
The lying, that's exactly how I would do it.
I'm going to tell you this. He said, I'm going to take one thing away from you. Your PlayStation or your phone. You can choose, but I'm taking one away. And he said, the kid was 13. He went, my PlayStation. He went, give me your phone. Because he knew what he cared about more. He was willing to give up the PlayStation because he cared about the phone first. So the dad was like, give me your phone then.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
That's quite clever.
Oh, yeah.
I might use that one.
Well, you can, but there's still, in the element is, Is it parenting, or is it getting your way, or learning a little thing in your life of just like, actually, if I lie, I'm going to lose the thing I care about the most in a bigger way. So right now he's just losing his phone. That's what he cares about the most. But if he lies later on in his future, he can lose his house or his partner or his money because he lied, because they lied. And it's learning those kind of things. But everyday parenting, because of what you had, you can go the other way. If you never got told I love you by your parents, right? You can go the other way and tell them that you love them too much without them earning it.
Yeah, my son's so basically, like you'd go, yeah, love you, bye. He won't say it unless he's feeling it at the time. So this is his own words, was, if you say it too often, it doesn't mean the same.
What if you said it and that time was the last time you saw them, but it was for nothing?
That's not a bad point.
So you were in a car accident or something happened wherever you were, and that day your kid's just like, hey, I didn't feel like I wanted to say I love you because I didn't feel it, but you didn't know that was going to be the last time you saw them. Then
that's why I never go to bed on an argument.
Oh, and I'm the opposite. Of course I am.
I was about to say, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't be a podcast with both of us on if we were both
I
the same,
love
right?
going to bed on an argument.
What?
Right? Because when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, well, it's stupid. I can't calm down quick enough to be like, right, we got to stay up and sort this out until we go to bed. I'm like, I've got to be up at 7:30 in the morning. Like, I can't.
Well, what happens
stay
if you didn't wake up
1?
in the morning, or the other one didn't wake up?
What, forever?
Yeah.
Well, how many times has that happened?
But you left the conversation.
How many times has that happened?
I'd imagine the statistics out there is it happens to quite a few people.
Nah, not enough. Not enough for me to be like, hey, because I feel like from separation from like a little time, even if you stayed in another room, not sleeping together, right, and you had an argument in the morning, you just came with a cup of tea and went, I'm so sorry. I hated being away from you. Instead of being in bed like, I'm still annoyed, because you guarantee you can fix that problem in your life of that argument in that night. No way. Not everyone. No way. Hence, you're divorced. You know what I mean? Because you can't fix those, and not being, not being able to, but you said, I never went to bed on an argument.
Yep.
Did that work?
Obviously, for 20 years it did. And then obviously at the end, 19, as everyone keeps pointing out.
But isn't it all like, aren't you all being chipped away and stuff like that, like the whole time of any relationship? And this is with friends. It doesn't have to be your partner. This could be with friends, family, whatever, after a while. And this is my problem. I don't think we can actually fix anything in the past anymore now. I think it's gone.
Yep. No, I agree with that, because stuff, and apply this way, not one person can actually sit there and say they've never done or something from their past that they're proud of. But you can't live in the past. Is the way I describe it to my kids in that. Yes, I may have done something bad in my past, but that's a bit like robbing a house that I don't even live in anymore. True. I'm not there anymore. I'm over here. I'm in.
What if there's really nice stuff in the house that you don't live anymore? They've decorated nicely. They've got lovely worktops now. You know what I mean? One of those posh kettles.
You have to do the opposite of everything. Sky's blue.
Yeah, it is. Well, technically,
there you go.
Technically, not really. Technically, not really, because actually, if you look at the globe, the sea's blue, the sky's clear. The reflection of the sea is reflecting upwards.
So when you're out of space, then
you see the sea. Is that annoying you?
Yeah. Do you see what I mean now? About as in, no matter what I say, yes, I said the opposite. Yeah. I said the sky's blue, and he's like, well, technically, no, it's not. Yeah.
But if that's the right answer, is that correct? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it's a reflection. But also, if you actually went to the sea and you did that, what color is it?
Clear.
Yeah.
That's right. That's my point. It's the sky that's blue.
But then also our eyes lie to ourselves anyway, because the projection of color and everything like that, and even just vision, that actually we see everything upside down, but our brain flips it the correct way around. Do you know this?
No. So hang on, my mental health's damaged because my brain's putting it the wrong way around.
No. Your mental health's damaged because just life.
Life.
Can I just say, if I got you to write our list, right? And I don't want you to do this, and I don't want to hear what this list is, because that would be really boring for anyone. But like, of anyone's list. But I think if I can get you to write a list of all the reasons why your mental health is bad, and then I got you to put next to it, is it your fault or someone else's fault? How many times is it your fault in 20?
off the top of my head, I've done a similar thing with my therapist with this one, because obviously I used to blame everybody else's fault.
Of course, because it's so easy to do.
It's easier to blame somebody else. It's
Yeah,
not.
no one wants
you
to blame
reflect
me.
and go, could you have actually done something different then?
Oh yeah. And without using the words, I wanted to. It felt good. I was drunk. Without any of those words, is it your fault more of the times than it's
Oh,
someone
yeah,
else's?
of course it is. Most, from my own experience, I'm not saying this, that everybody's situations.
But a high
most
proportion.
of my, like, the situations where I got myself into my job,
Yep. Was that you?
me, innit?
Yeah.
In the sense of, I didn't have to go and get into that fight on the door.
Nope.
I could have done something else. I didn't have to go and say this to my ex-wife. I could have done something different.
Yep.
So when you think it is everybody else is to blame, like I blamed a couple of my friends getting involved in saying stuff to my ex-wife and bits and pieces, when you truly think, well,
But did you start it?
who let it happen?
But did you start it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Obviously, I moaned to him. He then obviously told, and then it was like, well, hang on. If you reverse the whole thing, it all comes back to you could have changed it. The reason why it is because you did it.
Everything wrong in my life right now is because I did it.
Exactly.
It's
But everybody
reactions
else
to
is
stuff
easier
that I
to
did.
blame somebody else for it.
Oh, I don't blame anyone else. I just try and hold up and just be like, because I did something, this is what happened. Now this is a problem, though I started it. So can we fix this and then we can try and look at this? But that's the problem that I'm having a lot of times, that I'm very reactionary. So if someone does something to me, my reaction may be worse than what they did.
I
And
could
so
believe
now
that
I'm getting
with you.
blamed. Oh, yeah.
I could definitely believe that with you.
I'm spiky.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. But it's so funny because people will be like, oh, do you know what they said about you? I was like,
I don't care.
do you know what I said about them? Let's not start this war, because we can go. Because I'll bring you down to your knees.
Yeah, I could well believe that.
Oh, yeah.
I could see
sassy.
you holding a grudge.
No.
Oh,
No. I will kill you in conversation. I will not hold a grudge. I will make you absolutely hate me from what I say. Because remember, the people you argue with, guess what you know? Nearly everything about them. So you know how to destroy people just with the easiest thing. Well, the simplest thing is like, if say with your partner, you'd be like, they don't have a great relationship with their mum, and they do something like that, and you'd be like, you're just like your mum there.
yeah.
Ooh,
I used to do that to my ex, and my ex used to
pressure
do
that
that to
button.
me, just like your dad. I'm like, nope, you're your mum. And that's the easiest
Did
thing.
you tell them that, though? This is the thing.
No,
this
we've
is what,
actually said it to each other. The way we've treated each other since we got divorced, considering obviously we had 4 kids together and everything like that, because we know each other inside and out, we have used, not physical, but obviously like what you're saying, you know that person, so you know how to push that button and hurt them just through saying something to somebody else that you know it's going to come back. And I'm guilty for it. I've done that. But we do it to each other because you know where the other one's weakness is.
isn't that you fucking with someone's mental health as well?
Yeah, and that's truly what we did with each other. We attacked each other.
But then was that your relationship in the end?
That is our relationship now.
Was it like it from the beginning? So I've always said
No,
this,
no.
and let's talk about it in the room as well. But I'll say this: anyone's relationship that you get into in your entire life, the problem at the beginning is the problem at the end.
No, so we didn't have any problems at the beginning.
You had no problems at the beginning,
No.
communication-wise, or
No.
talking to each other nicely, or anything like
Perfect.
that. You were always
Always.
you always treated each other well.
Yep, at the very beginning, probably, so it like us, we was inseparable.
Yeah.
As in from the day I met
So
her.
what
at Utopia.
was it down for?
I think we changed. I think
Of course you did. You were together for
we
20
changed
years.
as
How could you
people,
not?
and the stuff that we experienced as a family, the kids, the lifestyle, the job that I had, it all eventually mounted up and up and up, and I can look back and go, yeah, do you know what? And again, this goes back to what we were saying. Yeah, no, you're to blame for that bit. But it's being adult enough or mature enough to go, yeah, well, I can see why it broke. You know, some of the stuff that you've said.
Could you have made it work?
Yeah, I gave up. I didn't, love wasn't enough. For what we were doing and what we were saying to each other, love,
Was that best for you or best for the kids?
at the time, I thought it was best for the kids, but if you look at it, reflect it back, it was best for me. It wasn't what was best for the kids in the sense of it's damaged them. We and my ex-wife have definitely 100% damaged or affected our kids' mental health with the aggression towards each other, the lack of communication, how we are to this day with each other. It damages them. They are completely different children. I have set my kids on different pathways from just like the statistics. We fell into the statistics. We always promise each other, and we like this from day one. Obviously, when you first get together with someone, you plan your kids and your names. But we always watched everybody else's relationship around, and we always said we'd never let anybody else interfere. Which for a long, many times we didn't.
Yeah.
And we always promised each other that we would never use the kids as weapons. Everything we promised, because we knew what we'd promised to each other, we have done purposely.
Well, you know how to
the
break
opposite.
the other person.
And that's exactly what we've done. It's like, I think we're doing it for a long period of time that we didn't realise to get to the other one, to hurt the other one, the kids were stuck in the middle. And it wasn't like you planned it. It was just a natural thing that happened.
If you can fast forward 20 years, how are your kids doing?
Hopefully they've learned from the shit me and their mum put them through not to do the same. If there's one thing they could turn from that, don't be a twat like us do. In the sense of, if you are not happy in that relationship and it ends, don't do what we did. That's the one thing I would say. Don't do the opposite in the polite as well on certain things. Like 20 years time, obviously there could be grandchildren, there's going to be this. And I brutally think, and this is so sad, that we'll still be at each other's throats. I really do.
Could you stop it?
I would love to. I would love to stop it, because no matter what way you go, yes, okay, my mental health was bad. I've damaged her. She's damaged mine. But the biggest thing as a parent, we've done it to each other. But the most important thing we've done it to, and we didn't even set out to do it, was to our kids. That's the bit that really pisses me off. That we put our kids in the middle. Didn't even realise we were doing it. It's not till you reflect back, do you realise you've put your kids in the middle of an argument that didn't even need to happen. This whole bullshit, the way we see each other and what we tell people, and it's like, fuck. Like you say, people saying so, that doesn't affect me, but it affects my kids. Because they're younger, we're affecting their mental health. And I just hope my kids in 20 years' time are, in healthy relationships. And if it is going to end, don't end up doing the stupid tit for tat and listening to all the other people. It's bollocks.
Can I put your mind at ease a bit?
Go on.
I think you might be giving yourself a really hard time about what you think you and your partner did to your kids or doing to your kids. But sometimes to experience stuff is to make people be more resilient. And if you experience none of this, then your kids growing up might have it and then not know how to deal with it, or talk to you, or talk to their mum, or talk to whoever else is around. And I know from the story when I was going out with someone that the sister, who was she was older, nothing has ever happened to her in her life. Family had done all right financially. She'd been going out with the same person for 8-9 years. No one had even died, not even a grandparent, nothing. So relatively easy life. And then back to back, she got married, and back to back, in the first 6 months, her husband cheated on her and her granddad died. Where do you reckon she went in her head? What did you reckon? Where do you reckon in her head?
Oh, well, she's not experienced nothing.
Nothing has happened. She's like 20.
Her.
She wanted to kill herself every day.
Wow.
She had no resilience. She had nothing. She didn't know how to deal with this situation. She didn't know who to talk to. She was embarrassed to even say those words. And we went on holiday, and her name had changed, different to her family's name. And she's got her ex-husband now's name, Because when people get married, one of you changes your name. You got to change your passport. You got to change all the stuff, your email, all stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, we're on holiday, and she's being referred to by her new surname, but that relationship has already failed.
Oh wow. So yeah.
So she had no resilience. So sometimes there's no easy balance. You either mess up your kids by your own relationship, or mess up your kids by giving them perfect examples of life.
Yeah, that's not.
And no matter what happens, your kids are just gonna be who they're gonna be.
Well, hopefully they got, like what you just said, the resilience to.
What I like hearing about
That would be like the idea.
What I like hearing about your stuff with your kids, and I met a few of them the other day as well, is that they seem polite in company, right? They could be little shits at home, but if they're polite in company, that's the way around I'm going to choose.
Yeah.
And then they talk to you. And I always feel like I don't hear that enough when I, or they're trying to, struggle to talk to their kids. I think they talk to you.
I can have open conversations with my kids.
But I don't know if you didn't go through the stuff that you went through and you were just still on the doors and nothing like that happened and didn't affect you. I don't think they could talk to you. 100%. I just think they would see you as too distant and too well put together and that you're fine.
So basically what they used to cut. So in one way, COVID did me a huge favor with me and my kids. Yes, okay, it may have damaged my relationship and, there's many, many things. But the one thing I did come out of COVID is I realized that work was everything. I didn't really know my kids. I didn't know them as a person, or the image I had of my kids wasn't really them. And that they all had their own little personalities. Like my youngest, Benjamin, he now lives with me, and he is a complete opposite from his eldest brother. But they both need something different from me. So I can have, like Junior, he'll tell me, he's not afraid to have a conversation. Even if it upsets me, he'll tell me. So if I want to know an answer, he'll say, yeah, Dad, I did this, or I've done that. And they're quite open with me. But they know that I will have my opinion. I don't ever hold a negative towards them, like, you little bastard. Did you do what? But I think I've kind of managed to get to know them. Like tonight we're going to watch Creed 3. Mm-hmm. So we tried to do where I never did this before COVID. So even in COVID, I would once a week, even in COVID, oh no, we're all living, but it would be me and them. So like Benjamin, he always wanted to play Fortnite. That was our, Sadie wanted to make cakes and bits. So I gave my own one-on-one, and I never did that before COVID. And like my ex-wife was right. Why is your dad doing it now?
Why? And my friend was exactly the same. He became a better parent when...
And that's the one thing my kids have said about it.
Because you had to as well.
Yeah.
Because there's not someone just doing it all. You had to. My friend became a much better dad, though I did give him some advice on this one. When he broke up from his relationship, the kids actually lived with him. Mm-hmm. And he threw himself at his children, as you would. He gave them 100%, right? Yeah. He did everything. That's fine. That's cool to do that. I said, be careful, though. He says, why? He said, what I'm doing, isn't it great? I said, yeah. Until you meet someone, you take away that love.
Correct.
He was like, what? I was like, as soon as you meet someone, even if you only give that new person 50%, you've taken 50% away from your kids.
It's already happened for me in a sense of, because Scott Jr. lived with me full time, so he pretty much had me all to himself.
All to himself.
When his brothers and sisters turned up,
yeah,
he hated it.
Of course.
He openly admitted, Dad, I don't like it.
No.
Because I can't have your attention. And he's 15 now.
Yeah.
But he actually even, Dad, I don't know what it is. I don't know. I don't like it because.
Well, because he just had a time on me. With just you two, thick as thieves, you know what I mean? Having a laugh and stuff, and then you don't have, you can eat whatever you want with your mate, it's kind of a bit of a mate, that sort of thing.
He didn't like it. He hated his brothers. So obviously we were doing, so he lived with me full time, and his brothers, both his brothers and his sister used to come 50% of the time. And he hated it.
Yeah, because it's change. He didn't like change.
And that's what he said, he doesn't like change.
So for that reason, I would give you more change. Because I'm not leaning into you going, well, I don't like change. Tough. Because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
you don't have your way.
do.
This is not life.
But it has made him more resilient for Scott Jr. The lessons he's learned from what me and his mum have done. I think should be all right.
Is he in a relationship?
No, what is the word they're using now?
Linking,
seeing, blah, blah, blah. He made the mistake of... So he split up with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Then got with another girl. Then wanted to go back. And he's...
Standard.
Yeah, typical guy thing. Kissing the new girl on the swings while his ex-girlfriend sat next to him. And didn't
this
think,
is being a teenager.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So, but in a sense of he's very mature in certain areas, very immature in others.
Of course. And that's the only way we learn.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And I feel like if you can get kids to talk, not talk about everything, because trust me, I don't want to know everything. Shut up.
What? Bees, birds, bees, with stingers, without
I think
stingers.
in the sense if you can have a conversation about them just being safe, what I would be saying is like, don't feel like you can't tell me, but try not to make anyone pregnant and try not to get anything.
See, it all depends on which kid. In a polite way, I know obviously that I'm no different. Oh, I am obviously must be different with each of them. Whereas Scott Jr., I know full well, right? This is nowhere. Dad, can you go get some Johnnies?
Right.
Guaranteed.
I'd just say.
You just come out of it because we've been quite open and we've had these conversations. My next son, Charlie, wouldn't. He'd go to his brother.
That's fine then.
But he'd go to his brother.
But isn't that fine?
Can you get Dad? But don't tell Dad it's for me.
That's fair.
Whereas,
because it's embarrassing.
But Benjamin wouldn't even say anything to anybody. I know that for a fact. So all we even know they're only like a year and a half each between them. All it's like Junior would come to me. The others Charlie would go to Junior to ask me.
But Junior has to ask you. He has to be the person to do that because he's the oldest one. The others can go through him, and it's fine. It doesn't have to straight.
Yeah. Benjamin, he wouldn't say nothing to no one. You
can just call on 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't have to say the names.
One.
Yeah, it's fine. I know what you mean. I'm going to switch up a little bit, and I did message you earlier today because obviously we're doing a little bit earlier stuff at that. There's a absolutely incredible documentary that's on Channel 4 right now called Paula. It's all about Paula Yates, who used to be a presenter. She was on The Tube back in the 80s. It was like a music kind of show, and then she was on Big Breakfast, and she was the talk of the town. She was kind of, I don't know, there was an Amy Winehouse-ness about her. She seemed this kind of flirtatious, kind of fun, kind of really talented young woman. A Caroline Flack about her. She had these kind of greatness, but also was put onto such scrutiny about their love life. You see like Taylor Swift, people talking about their love life, or Rihanna or whatever. They're always doing that. They seem not to do this to boys, but this documentary comes off the back of the documentary that we had for Caroline Flack. And I wanted to know your opinion on this. Now, I know you haven't watched it, but I would say...
I've watched the clip roughly when you sent me this morning.
And so, I think it's 2 episodes. And it's really tough. And I watched her growing up and stuff like that, especially watching Big Breakfast and her laying in the bed and being flirtatious and blah, blah, blah. Do you think that the press are worse in the 80s, 90s, and noughties, so Jade Goody as well is linked into that situation, or worse now? Take away social media, so no social media, just
press, no social media.
Press.
I reckon back then they were a lot worse than they are now.
What is your argument for that? Why do you reckon? I know I've just thrown this onto you, so why do you reckon they were worse then?
Back then there was... not that there's boundaries now, there's like unwritten rules now, because obviously like Caroline Flack, Jay Goody, all them sort of stuff, people have gone too far with it, and there's now a preference of where you took it too far. Back then, everything's fair game. Even I know everything's still fair game now, but I think
there was a countdown to Charlotte Church's virginity.
What?
So there was a countdown to her being 16. Now, I will slightly eradicate the situation of what you're going to say, that you think it was worse then, because I think it's exactly the same. I didn't even say Diana. Right? But look now. Who is number one target now?
Harry's.
Meghan.
Yeah, go. Yeah. I had to think then.
Number one
Yeah, I
target.
see where you're going
It
with
is,
that.
and people are losing their jobs. Jeremy Clarkson just lost his because he wrote a tweet. I really hate when
Oh,
people
sorry.
do this
Yes,
stuff,
sorry.
right?
Yeah.
Bloody tweet stuff. But like these people write their comments about stuff, and instead of people just ignoring it, because I think we've lost this way of ignoring stuff, and now we look at it, exacerbate the whole situation, and show everyone else. Look at Lineker. Like I guarantee most people didn't even see that tweet. Do you even know what the tweet is?
No.
Do you know about the story?
Yeah.
What? What do you reckon the tweet was? If you just had to literally make it up right now, what do you reckon in some sort of formats he was saying or what he said?
Having a go at her, basically.
Oh no! This is Gary Lineker about him being fired from Match of the Day. Do you know this?
No.
Oh, what?
No.
What? Where have you been living?
I don't follow
I know.
football.
Okay, right. Okay, we're slightly off topic anyway. Gary Lineker wrote a tweet, and then that tweet was exacerbated in the press about or sort of people coming to this country, and he kind of quoted it to be, what is this, 1930s Germany. Now everyone's just like, he's talking about Nazis, right? Which is fair. He's probably talking about 1930s Germany, right? But at the same time, that just word gets thrown around way too quickly for my liking, like everything. But going back to the press situation, Amy Winehouse, Diana, Paula Yates, Caroline Flack, this can go on and on and on.
Of course.
Jade Goody. When are people going to be happy? What, until Meghan's dead?
Yep. You know that's a fact. You know, listen, good news doesn't sell, does it?
It's terrible.
If you look at society and everybody, even you, right? If I had some gossip,
Yeah.
you're interested, right?
Within reason, sort of. No, but yet again, it's just because of how I'm wired. Like, I would rather, when I go and do interviews, I normally ask people, who's the nicest person you've met?
That's only because you've trained yourself to be that kind of way.
No,
to
'cause
not,
I just don't
you
care
don't
about
come
who's the
naturally-
most horrible
No, but you
person.
weren't.
Because
You're not naturally a person that tries to hit the negative. You've
No.
over the years, in a way, because of your experience, again, I guess your experiences in life and certain things, you try to see a positive.
Well, I'm not a fan of people saying the word hate when they just mean dislike.
Yeah.
There's a talk that I'm writing right now, which is called Extreme, and we spoke about this before. But everyone extreme talks so much now. So instead of saying I don't like this person, they'll say hate. Instead of saying they're hungry, they'll say starving. You know what I mean? Instead of saying they're tired, they say exhausted. You know, we're using these words, and this is what I was thinking about the other day about it. What do you reckon is the lesser version of words of racism? So racist, misogynistic, homophobic, xenophobic. What a lesser, and people are like, there shouldn't be lesser words. But why are we always going to extreme? Why are we just saying that one thing is said or done and they literally link straight to the highest punishment ever? You know
Because
what I mean?
it's the easiest way to control someone.
Well, it's the easiest way to get clicks. It's the easiest way to,
To control the viewer,
They're
right?
doing a J.K. Rowling, you know what I mean? Like, in the end, most people just connect dots. Now, people say things wrong, of course, all the time. But we paraphrase so much.
But it's like a text message. You can read it whatever way your mind's at, right? It's like the same thing as a tweet, is it not?
But people like to spread propaganda themselves. Yet again, I keep on repeating myself. One of my favorite films is a film called Arrival, and they tell this amazing story. And I've told you about this story about the kangaroo, yeah?
Yeah.
And then, but if you don't tell people that story is not true, people will just tell everyone. And then guess what it is?
It's truth.
It's true.
Yes.
No matter
I've done
how,
this.
you
I've
can't
actually
unpick
tested
it.
it on my kids. And
It's
it worked.
hilarious.
Yeah, it worked.
Well, everything works. If you look about celebrations, you look about figures in those celebrations and all the stuff. Like, I'm not trying to say anything about, like, Christmas or Easter or
Okay,
something
and
like that.
for
But like,
somebody-
there is elements of that. In the end, we take things to the truth because we keep on saying that you could do it about religion. And by the way, how many religions are there? There's loads. There's loads of the things that people believe in completely different to someone else. And I think that one of the problems that we're having is that I was talking about politics, like with some friends and stuff, and they're like, oh, should we talk about this? Because are we going to get in trouble? And I was just like, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I care enough. And also, I if I have an opinion, right, and I tell you the opinion, and you have the opposite opinion, right? But
Which 9 times out of 10, that's where it is.
But in the conversation that we have, you just completely and utterly let your opinion go, and you go, yeah, actually, you're right, completely right. I'm like, oh my God, you're quite weak. Like, I would give you a hard time for being weak and not standing past your opinion. Later on, you can come back to me like, actually, to be honest, I did think, and actually that, and I'll be like, yeah, I felt the same as well. So maybe that makes more of sense and blah blah blah. But I feel like also I judge people if they're just too easy to change.
Too easy to switch over. So, okay, right, with the celebrities thing, right?
Yeah.
So, say she does go and kill herself.
Or is killed.
Or was killed, right? Because obviously, like a bit like Diana. Who's responsible?
Allegedly.
Who's responsible? Who do you hold responsible? The world? Caroline Flack, who's responsible? Exactly. Every person, even on a good thing or you watched or read something about her. You engaged. So are you responsible as well for damaging somebody else's mental health?
Can I quickly just say spoiler alert?
Go on.
Spoiler alert. I don't know if you watched Black Mirror ever.
Yep.
There is an episode about the bees. And they have these mechanical bees. It's one of the last episodes of the latest series. It's quite old now, like maybe 3-4 years old. And they put this poll out. And they have like people, like a Katie Hopkins kind of people, a Nigel Farage kind of people. And you could make a poll and those bees would kill that person. Right? So whoever's at the top of that poll, people on their phones like, who would I kill? That person, right? They wasn't Katie, it wasn't Nigel.
No, but they could go.
But it's kind of those types, right?
Principle, yeah.
And it's like, right, we're going to kill those people, right? And the bees went and they killed that person. The end of the story, spoiler alert, the end of the story, guess what happened?
The person who invented it got killed?
Anyone who participated and voted, the bees in the end killed them. Because they were to blame for this thing. So when we have these people like Katie Hopkins, or you have these people like Nigel Farage, or you have these people like Milo Yiannopoulos, or whatever, Jordan Peterson, on and on and on, your hate towards them doesn't help. Do you know what it does?
Fuels it.
It makes them more famous.
That's what I'm trying to say.
It's
Even when
hilarious.
you're trying to be positive about it, you're also fueling the fire no matter which way you go.
The
right?
main thing I do on my and I see the algorithm and I see what's trying to give me, and I don't know if other men, because there's only guys in here right now, but on my algorithm on my YouTube page, it will bring up loads of stuff, and I watch football, I watch things about watches and blah, blah, blah. But then also there's this kind of Andrew Tate misogynist side that is coming up a lot, okay? And it's very easy for me to be like, oh, okay, I'll read that. And then it gets into my psyche, and I think the same way, and I'm like, oh, crap. My main thing is I click on the 3 dots here, and I just write don't recommend this channel, and not interested. And I try and get things off my page as many times as I can to not interact. It's really easy for them to clickbait me and be like, the reason why people are not happy is because of you. The reason why. And I'm just like, wait. Mm-hmm. Yet again, I'm getting baited about this whole situation. So I try and also be in charge of those situations, even though I will still slip in and I watch a little video. Oh no, I've got to come back out because I know it's not helping me. That's why I watch videos about football, or watch videos about watches, or watch videos about tech or actual like animals or different parts of the planet and stuff like that, erosion and stuff like that. But like, it makes me feel that I'm not getting dragged into this really kind of toxic kind of place. My friend was like, every time I look at my Twitter, it's horrible. I was like, who are you following?
Yep.
Who are you following? But
Sure,
people agree with me.
The
They agree with me. Okay, cool, great. That I love that they agree with you. But you don't seem happy following people that are literally just go, well, it's the Tories. Oh, well, it's this person. Oh, well, it's Donald Trump. Oh, I was like, mate, like, take a breath, please. Are you okay? Like, honestly, like, let's just flick through mine and we'll have a look. Oh, Haaland scored 4 goals. Let's have a look at the goals. Let's have a little breath. Okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like, it's instead of getting completely and enwrapped in other people's stuff that you have no control of, especially other countries. It's hilarious when we talk about Donald Trump and being president again. We're like, oh my God, if that happens again, I can't. But you'll make it happen because you won't be able to stop speaking about him.
You're basically, but we're all to blame. Every single person that's got, whether it's good, bad, because even just by us talking about it, just by us, we are contributing in one way, no matter which way we do it.
Yep.
We're trying to do it in a positive way, but we're actually contributing to the good, the bad, the difference, and the whole thing, just by physically talking about it.
Yeah, and that's why, that's why I like doing these talks and chatting and stuff like that, because I feel like we're getting stuff out. We're not being too overly political. We're mainly talking about our sides of stories. We're throwing in kind of, articles about stuff. And one of the things, I don't know if we got a guest next week, but I was going to bring in...
Should have.
Oh, hello. Maybe it'd be cool because other people wouldn't have been in this room can see what I say. I'm going to bring in newspaper clippings of when I was in the press. My friend's mum made a book up. I have it at home.
Really?
I haven't looked at it for a very long time. I like you to see what you feel about these things, and also for the person who sat across you, who you've known for a very long time, and be like, whoa. And it just be headlines.
Okay, I'm up for that. All right, can I just have a rough guess now before we sit down at it? How much? So the clippings.
Yeah. By the way, this is when people watch X Factor, so we were front page news every single day.
So I would say, percentage-wise, I'm hoping. I truly, I reckon it's more than 75% positive, but there had to be some negative to sell the papers.
Everything that you see in it that's not local is bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's gonna be. I'm quite interested in it. Knowing obviously who you are, kind of thing. And
yeah, the first thing that I'm in the paper for is probably kind of diabolical, but at the same time, a very clever headline.
Go on. Go on, just say it because I'm interested now. I'll go on.
So when I just before I did the show, it was going to be on TV, so I had audition and all that stuff coming out and blah blah blah. I got the News of the World, who doesn't exist anymore, and also did hire me for a little while. But they, hey man, you got to work for your enemy sometimes. And then they asked me about my relationship status. They said, "Are you going out with anyone?" Which I think I was seeing someone, but I wasn't going out with anyone, and I wasn't going to let them know because it's going to be too much. And they're like, cool. And they're like, oh, have you ever had a girlfriend before? I was like, yeah. I was like, how many? I was like, yeah, let's not give you a number because I don't want you to find any of them. Even
so
if
you
there's
kind of
one.
knew not to give them too much, right?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to be stupid. Like, what's your body count?
Yeah.
Because then they're just going to try and the whole time to try and find them and just cross them off until they find you. They want to find because they would all been friends or people I knew on my social media, on Facebook and Twitter. What was around then? And then so they asked if I ever had a girlfriend before and how many have I ever had. And then they asked, have I ever had a boyfriend before and how many? And I was just like, right. So I answered the question. And they said, what do you think of Danny Minogue and Cheryl Cole? Do you reckon they're pretty? I was like, yeah. I mean, obviously they're just beautiful women, and they've been in the industry and for a while and stuff. They know how it works, so trust them. I was like, oh, okay, cool. What do you think about Simon Cowell and Louis? Do you reckon they're distinguished and handsome? I was like, yeah, in their own way. They they've got their qualities about them. They seem really, really nice, and they're like, okay.
So what was the headline?
2 days later,
Go
this is
on.
the headline. By B.I. the way Daniel fancies Danny, Cheryl, Simon and Louis.
What?
So this whole situation, all of a sudden I'm bisexual. That's the first headline that was written about me. And the funniest thing about that situation...
But you can see how they pulled the information.
Of course,
from it.
but I'm not clever enough to know this, right?
Yeah.
The funniest thing about that situation, and we'll talk about it next week or the week after, whenever we do it, but the outpouring of bisexual people towards me was massive. And I couldn't really take it on board too much because guess what?
What, in a negative way or?
No, huge. Like, my God, like there's no one out there that's like you and you're just flying the flag for us and thank you so much. Like, I feel like I still get messages now, right? And the funny thing about that situation, I'm not bisexual. Just... But it's really difficult for when they start saying like, "Thank you, you've motivated me so much. Thank you." But honestly, I'll bring in the newspaper clippings. And when I was a teacher, my stage school put together an actual hard copy book of every moment that happened in the show. I'll bring it in. It's phenomenal, the situation of how much effort went into this book. Not because it's me, because who cares about me, but just the effort that went into this book in every detail. But you will be so surprised what actually happened. Not the show, just
to sell papers, right?
Just papers, friends, family, show, everything was literally a snow globe upside down that was breaking and the water was coming out. It was just so much. You couldn't breathe. You couldn't. And do you know what the crazy thing was happening at that time? Every single one of us in that house was going for our own bloody journey, and we all thought that our own one was more important. But we're all going for our own thing. Like Stacey's in there.
Because there's somebody else who's doing it, or the papers are doing it to the next person.
Yeah, of course. And then they started getting us to go against each other. You know, Stacey's in the show, and Stacey Simon's in the same show as me, and she's got like a 2-year-old, and she's not allowed to see him.
And then obviously,
And you're like, what? Just let her see. You know what I mean? Like, crazy. You know, and everyone's ex and everyone's family members, everyone's friends are selling multiple stories about you.
I wish I'd have made a fortune.
Of course you would have.
Just remember that, boys and girls. If you ever get famous, I know your dark secrets.
Scott's going to say you out. Like, that's the funny thing is, I think that, and everyone goes, no, I don't do it. I think that nearly everyone has a price to sell someone out.
Mate, I would say to you, look, I'd be clear. I'm quite bold in the sense of, look, listen, can I say about this one, because he's offered me $2 million. You know.
$2 million? Wow.
Yeah, I'm not.
Who do you think I am? Harry Styles?
See, now there's a rumor. I've just started it.
Oh, what?
Somebody wants to pay me $2 million. I'll tell you about their relationship.
About me and Harry Styles.
The relationship.
They'll have a picture, actually. I'll send it over across. Not that picture. You calm down. Or is it? What you got planned for the rest of the week? Because let's wrap some stuff up.
I suppose we should, because the minutes are ticking away now.
They are.
You've made it all about you again.
Me, yeah.
All about you again. Even when we went out drinking, it was all about you.
Come on.
I ended up slipping out for it. All right, okay, what am I doing for the rest of the week? We've got quite a bit to do. I'm getting ready. So I'm lining up the next guest for next week.
Nice.
I've got a conversation with him this afternoon, talking about he's coming down. I think it's Milton Keynes he's coming down from, to talk about mental health coaching, all that sort of stuff. But best of the week, pretty much from tonight, I met with the kids at the cinema, the boys.
Yep, obviously you're going to go see Creed.
Go get Creed. I wanted to watch John Wick 4, but
it's not out yet.
It is.
It's not out yet.
Showcase it is.
Can we have a little check-up when John Wick 3 is out, please? Thank you.
Four. John 3 is already definitely out.
Yeah, 3 is out. Obviously, sorry.
Unless there's... No, you can. Tonight
I think you can book it, but I don't think it's out until the 24th of March. Yeah, they're looking. What am I doing? I just went for a nice coffee at Bradley's with my friend Michelle, which is really nice.
Yep.
We're going to be doing some work with them soon as well, which
yes.
is quite nice, yeah.
Yes, we need to get that done.
We get that sorted, it's fine. And then I think I'll go into cinema too. Am I going to see Scream? Yeah.
What?
That's what I was brought up on.
I can't see you being...
I'm a horror fan.
Really?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, so I'm going to probably watch Scream tonight, and then tomorrow it's kind of a bit more of a chill day, and then I'm going for a spa in Brighton.
Now that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
A nice pamper weekend.
Mate, have you done spa day?
No.
Shut up. We're doing a spa day. What
is it? Huh? In a polite sense, what's so good about spa day?
Spa day is chilling out, nice swimming pools, little massage, good lunch. Pretty much we're ladies at leisure, is what I'm going to say. Do we have an update of when John Wick 4 is out? 23rd. Thank you. It's the 15th.
You just have to be right all the time. You just have to be.
For those who couldn't see, I was flossing. I've got a bad knee. Next week, looking forward to it. New guest.
Episode 43 will be next week.
Can't wait for it. Scott, you're always a pleasure. And I'm definitely the pain. If you're not subscribed to this, make sure you subscribe. And what do they need to do? They have to also...
Ding dongs?
Yeah, like it too. We'll see you back next week where I'm going to talk a little less.
Bye, guys.
Bye.